What should you invest your money in? I was getting some reading done in bed here and reading the Financial Times. Check this out. Gold drops to 5-year low on interest rate fears. Remember, not too long ago, everybody was saying, oh man, best thing you can invest your money is in gold and this. And look, I'm not picking on gold here, just happened to be the article, but if you want to know how to invest your money, you have to understand a few principles. Let me give you a few of them. Number one, the fundamental rules of supply and demand are always in effect, meaning gold might be a great investment at one time, but if there's too much or too little demand based on how much gold there is, your investment, if you put a lot of money in gold, it's going to go down or go up. A lot of people, 2007, 2006, were telling you, best thing you can do is invest in real estate. Well, too many people invested in real estate. It drove the price up above the value or the true intrinsic value. Boom. Next thing you know, a lot of people went broke, and I feel sorry for them. And we've all made mistakes financially. The point of this talk is not to rub it in anyone's face. The point is, how can we move onward and upward going forward? So, number two, if you want to know how to invest your money, you have to have a good understanding of money in general. This is the Financial Times weekend. This is the London paper. And there's a little section down here at the bottom, and you can get this in almost any newspaper somewhere. World markets. And you have to understand what those mean. People say, Ty, I don't know what LIBOR means. I don't know what federal discount rate, the discount rate means. I don't understand the difference between a bill, a note, and a bond. I don't understand what the Hang Seng index is. Well, Google it. So number two is you have to have some level of sophistication and savvy to your understanding of world markets, asset classes. Now, some of this might sound overwhelming. You might be like, Ty, I'm not a math person. Well, here's the deal. You don't have to be a math person. And if you're a person who's going to earn income and you want that income to be able to be invested and grow so that all that hard work you do isn't for nothing, then you might need to understand you could spend 10 minutes on Google. Just Google all these. S&P 500. That's a collection of 500 large companies in the United States. They move up and down as a whole. That's a reflection on possibly how well the U.S. economy is doing. The NASDAQ composite. You might have heard that before. The NASDAQ's the second largest stock exchange. So another indicator of how things are doing. The Dow Jones Industrial. This is like the Dow Jones is like, I think, 30 large companies starting as an index been tracked since the late 1800s. Why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about, the Nikkei average, the FTSE 100, they call it the FTSE. That's a European index. Now, those might sound like a little bit advanced terms for you. My point is you can learn them in 1 hour with Google and Wikipedia. And so if you want to know how to invest, then that brings me to number three. Invest in what you know. The problem for some people is they don't know anything, which is why I put point number two before it. You have to understand some things. There's some cool things here. You can see the price of commodities, oil, the WTI and the Brent. Those are different kinds of crude oil, light crude oil. You need to know what a barrel of oil costs. It's going to affect the cost of the fertilizer that grows the food you eat, the cost of the plastic that's on the cars you drive. It's going to determine the price of pretty much everything you do in the modern world. It's going to be dictated a little bit by energy prices. We talked about gold. Gold's down to 1,057, 47 cents or 40 cents an ounce. You can see also here, it's got the pound and the dollar versus the euro, all those. So you can understand, let's say you have a factory job, so you are a student. All those things have to do with the global exchange rate. When the US dollar is high and strong, it affects import and exports. We don't need to go to into exactly how it does that. This, by the way, is why China does some stuff called devaluing currencies, which makes it hard for the U.S. economy. But that's for another more advanced conversation. You can see here the interest rates. These are important that you understand them. The federal funds effective rate. They don't have this, but you also have, the discount rate. Federal funds effective rate is basically the rate at which banks are loaning each other money. This will affect the cost of your mortgage. This can affect the cost of your car loan. If you have a variable loan, fixed loan, if you've got a business. So I'm bringing these things up because I want you to start, all of us, myself included, we must speak the language of money. A little bit, not all day. People know the language of entertainment. They knew who Brad Pitt's married to. They knew the third daughter in the Kardashian family. People know all kinds of fashion brands. They know all these things as consumers, but rarely do they understand things as investors. You want to know the inner workings. So that's number 4. Number 3 is invest in what you know. That assumes you must know something. So you want to constrain. You don't want to invest in everything. Warren Buffett, probably the world's best investor. He doesn't invest in tech stocks because he doesn't understand them. He invests in a very specific type of investment. He doesn't invest in gold because he doesn't know gold. He's not a gold miner. He's not in the commodity business and so on. So for you, and if you're watching this, you're a little more advanced, you can still become more advanced. I always say the people who think they're advanced, I'm like, let me quiz you. And inevitably, we all have blind spots. So the federal funds effective rate, the discount rate, that's the rate at which the government can loan money directly to banks a little bit. They're similar but different. But these are all right here. And I want to challenge you to be somebody who knows stuff. As Sam Chupp, the Amish man, told me that I lived with for a year or two. He said, Ty's 3 types of people in the world. People who watch things happen, people who make things happen, and people who wonder what happened. And when it comes to finance and investments, inevitably, people who lose money. And let me just say, everybody's going to lose some money. But people who catastrophically lose money, and then when they lose it, can't gain it back, a little bit like a lottery earner or a lottery winner, they are people who are wondering about everything. If somebody brings up, the Nikkei average, you need to know what that is. You need to know what the Hang Seng is. So it's not that you must be an expert in these. You must have a working vocabulary. And I'll tell you a lot of questions people ask me is about. By the way, I'm going to do a special talk on this. A little more advanced investing for all of you. I think everybody, whether you're 12 watching this or 80, it's your money. You're going to work hard for it. You might as well understand how to put it to work because you're not going to spend hopefully you don't spend everything you earn. You're going to have to invest some. So I'm going to put a little link here. Click to it. It'll take you to my website. I'm going to do a live talk, free online live talk. You can watch it on your phone or your computer, listen in while you're driving, whatever, and ask questions. And I've been doing these, and they're getting 15 to 25,000 people come live in 70 countries. So no matter where you live, check it out. I'd love to talk. We're going to talk about more. There's more than, I gave you 3 or 4 kind of quick ones here. I'm trying to keep these around 10 minutes. But yeah, click the link. It'll take you to my website. It's completely free. You don't have to put a credit card in or anything. It'll show you the time converted to your local time zone, wherever you are in the world, so you'll know. And yeah, claim your spot. Do it relatively early because these things are starting to fill up real quick. And then if you get in there early, you can submit a question ahead of time if you want me to answer, or you can ask them live. So remember what I was just saying. Pull out a newspaper. Financial Times, you read the Wall Street Journal. These all seem boring. I know this. There was a time in my life I thought they were boring, but I had a few investors, and they basically said, listen, man, you want to do big things? Money is the fuel. Money's not perfect. Money's not evil. It's none of those things. I read a great book. I'm going to do a review on it. It's called Coined. Somewhere here, it's got a great introduction by a Nobel Prize winner. And the book basically says animals that exchange in nature do better than animals that try to do it all on their own. So in the current world we live in, 7.3 billion people, it's going to be an exchange economy because it's better for each individual. Even ants, even bees, they divide up. These bees do this. These ants do this. There's specialization, and then they exchange. And so That's what money really is. It's an exchange medium. And then investing is as you exchange and you begin to accumulate some money, whether it's $1, $100, $1 million, you're going to have to put it to work because you can't use it all at every moment. And so that's what we're going to cover. And that's why you need to understand the language of money. And that's why this will keep you from getting caught in the next real estate crash, the next recession, the next gold crash, because you'll be at a level where you understand the general workings of economics and you can sniff out whether something makes sense or, has no sense. So this is a good little one, the London paper, even though I don't live in London. Be diverse in what you read. So yeah, click the link. I will see you on the live talk. And before you do that, leave a little comment here. Well, you can click, but come back here, leave a comment. I like doing the comments kind of like surveys. What's an investment that you made that didn't work out for you? And why do you think it didn't work out? And number 2, what's an investment you did that did work out well for you? And what rules do you think you followed differently that it worked out for you? Okay? Talk to you soon.